All right, I think we can go ahead and kick off today's webinar. Once again, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining today's EnergyTech University Prize Informational Team Building and Networking virtual event. My name is Jackie Petrie. I am with the NREL EnergyTech UP team. And before we get started, I want to go over a few quick housekeeping items. I'm sure all of you are very familiar with Zoom at this point, but in case you're having any audio difficulties, you can change your audio settings by navigating to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. There should be a mute or an unmute button, clicking that little up arrow next to that button and changing your settings for where your speaker and microphone are coming from. This is a reminder to all of our panelists or regional conveners, speakers, everybody who's joining today, to please keep yourselves muted when you're not speaking. We'll have breakout rooms later on in the event, and you can definitely unmute and turn on your video then. If you have any questions for the prize administrators, you can ask those questions at any point by entering them into the chat, and we will get to questions later on in the webinar. Lastly, we are recording this session today. We won't be recording the breakout rooms, but we will be recording the first part of this webinar. So if you need to duck out and come back or share this information with other teammates at a later point, we'll be making a copy of the slide deck and a recording of the webinar available on HeroX in the next couple days. And with that, I would like to hand things over to my colleague, Joe Simon, who is the lead prize administrator for EnergyTech UP.
All right. Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining. Let me see if I can just welcome everyone. We're so excited that you're interested in the program and look forward to telling you a little bit more about how you can participate successfully. So you're all on this call, so you may already know this, but at its simplest level, what we're looking to do is to task student teams to develop and present a business plan leveraging national laboratory developed or other high potential energy technologies. So this can be technology developed at your university, at your college, by you as students, or available in industry, and you're really thinking about that business plan, that commercialization plan. And that's what we're excited about in this program. So for today, we will spend just a couple minutes about the program as a whole. We are excited and pleased to be joined by a few past winners who will share a few words of encouragement or share some experiences that they had from our inaugural year in 2022. And then we'll spend a couple minutes on what you'll need to do and how to win, how to submit a register entry in HeroX, and then we'll introduce our regional conveners who are very excited to meet with you as students and to help build up the energy ecosystem in their community. We'll spend about 30 minutes in breakout rooms. So if you have any specific questions or you want to try to identify other students who are looking for team members, you're able to spend some time there. If you feel like you've gotten all the information you need, you can always just drop the call at the end of that conversation in the breakout rooms. But if you want to come back and ask the organizers any overall questions, we'll be available in the main room for some closing remarks as well. So the EnergyTech University Prize, in its highest level, is really thinking about that business plan. And it should be of interest to student competitors. It's a way to think about commercialization. What's the product market fit? So rather than explaining all the intricacies of the technology, it's about trying to say, how could this help change the world? How could this help with the energy transition? How could this help commercialize or reduce energy costs? And so energy at its broadest level is almost everything. So it's energy production, energy conservation, energy finances, communications, challenges, deployment, all of these different areas. So by participating, you'll gain connections to other like-minded competitors. You have an opportunity to present and receive feedback from industry leaders in your region. And if you become a winner at the national event, all teams will receive some access to the Department of Energy's Energy I-Core materials, which is typically available only to national laboratory staff. And then for those winning teams, we'll provide some tailored mentorship as well. In total, we're excited to be able to offer over $350,000 in cash prizes, And this will be spread across almost 28 different teams. And so this can be $3,000 prizes for regional winners. It can be $25,000 bonus prizes and up to $100,000 across first, second, and third place overall. So lots of opportunities for those prizes to make a difference. And those are prizes for work already done. So there's no obligation, there's no IP transfer, there's no follow-on reporting. It really is a prize for your success in this competition. So we are here to help build that energy community. So whether or not you are from an established energy program at your university, you're doing that as your PhD, or if you're new to the energy community. This program is structured so that all teams have a chance at success and all teams are welcome to participate. So we encourage you to explore energy technologies, explore the industry, identify those business opportunities, and present it to your region. We will then support any regional winners to make sure that they're really elevated to that national stage and get a lot of good success and participation through that event. So if you're on the fence, we encourage you to think about participating. It's a low barrier to entry, just 200 words to submit a register entry, and then we can invite you to a regional Explore event. You'll be able to join a community already hundreds of students strong with many more hundreds of students to come. We found students able to connect with each other, able to connect with one of dozens of industry judges that participate in our Explore events, our national event, able to connect with the Department of Energy, different research areas, able to advance their communications across the silos of their institution or their university. So this can be, if you're in engineering, maybe this is a reason for you to talk to the Entrepreneurship Institute. If you're in business, maybe this is an opportunity for you to connect with your tech transfer and IP licensing professionals. This is a way for you to get feedback from industry, from judges, from peers across your institution. In our first year, which was last year, we had 180 teams from 113 different institutions, and they all seem to find that there are many new ways to innovate. There are many new ways to learn about the difference between giving a business-focused talk and a science-focused talk. They learned about ways to integrate energy equity into their activities, to think about that impact, to think about the multidisciplinary participation, about the opportunities for an energy career, and what's necessary for actually commercializing energy technologies. We were so excited to celebrate many teams. So we had many technology bonus prize finalists. We had 11 different regional winners. We had 6 bonus prize winners and a third, second, and first place winner overall in the competition. So congratulations to all of these schools, all of these technologies. We're excited to see what all of you bring for this next edition in 2023. With that, I'm excited to turn things over for just a couple minutes to Lina Kim from Stanford University, who participated presenting a project called Mechanochemical Recycling of LCO Batteries. Lina, do you want to share a few minutes of your experience participating in EnergyTech UP?
I love that, Joe. Thanks so much for having me. It's really an honor to be able to speak to the next batch of Energy Tech competitors. And hello, everyone on the call. To give you a quick intro, my name is Lina, and I'm a student at Stanford studying computer science and MS&E for my master's degree. I participated in the competition last year as a junior in my third year of undergrad. And I just wanted to really emphasize something that Joe said, which is that Energy Tech as a competition is really special because usually with pitch competitions like this, it's hard to participate if you don't already have a lot of industry experience, because you can imagine that a typical panel of judges you'd be speaking to would normally be like a venture capital firm, which are really incentivized to care about the background of the team members. I remember that one of the competing teams last year said in their speech something like, our members have over 100 years combined of working industry experience. And my teammates and I exchanged looks and we were like, we don't even have 100 combined years of like being alive. But Energy Tech really gives you the opportunity to be evaluated on just the quality of the idea that you're pitching for your business plan. And that levels the playing field. And that's a really special opportunity that you really don't get anywhere else. So just a quick pitch for that. And I think Energy Tech for me was really a great experience for maybe 4 big reasons, and I'll just run through the numbered list. So the first one is that it's really just a really awesome educational experience. Like I learned so much about the market of battery recycling that I never really knew existed before this competition, never would have otherwise explored. I taught myself a crash course on techno-economic modeling. Like I got to interview market experts and professors and really just gained so much knowledge that I could never have imagined. And the second is that it's really a great cooperative experience. Don't get me wrong, it's a really demanding project. It will be something that you should pour your heart and soul into for a couple months. But because of that, I feel like I worked so closely and intensely with, of course, all of my teammates, but also built great relationships with the mentors that I had the fortune and privilege of being able to be advised by. And so I think in that sense, it will really give you that rep of working closely with someone and well with someone. It'll teach you all about yourself in that context. For me, the third part was actually professional experience. So I actually had no intention of ever really being in the quote unquote tech startup space because I have a pretty conservative risk profile, I'd say. But this experience was really so eye-opening and rewarding that I actually ended up working at a battery recycling startup that I learned about over the course of my research for this project for Energy Tech. And that's where I will probably go after graduating full time. Like I was so inspired to have the chance to work with people for whom this is their everyday, not just a 3-month or a 6-month competition. And so it really just changed my view of this is how the world works and this is the role that I want to play with it. And the last reason that I'll put out there is that it's so much fun and really just once again, like it is a once in a lifetime competition that comes with a very explicit goal of educating students, but also like emphasizes the need for a realistic business plan. And I think that combination of the goal of education, but also like being real about what's possible in the world is a unique combination. And so I'll really end with that. And a final pitch for, I actually didn't do my own digging of like, oh, here are random technologies that I should pitch. Energy Tech will provide you with a lot of resources. Like I actually just went down their list of here are the big national labs, here are the big projects that they've worked on, and went through every single one before choosing the mechanical recycling technology that I ended up with. So I'd say make sure to use the fantastic resources and mentorship that they'll provide, and it will be a great time. Giving it back to you, Joe.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And as mentioned, so the technology that Lina and her team presented is something that was available for license on the lab partnering service. So not something that was done by her research or her professor, but rather something available from another national lab and really presented that business plan around it. So again, this is a way for you to participate regardless of where your institution or your research may be. It's about being able to connect with these different areas. So now I will turn things next over to the University of Miami second place winner for structural piezoelectric supercapacitor is Kara. I'm not able to advance my slide at the moment. I don't know why. There we go. But I'll turn it over to you as well. So thank you so much for joining today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Kara Samuel. So like Joe said, I was the Southeast Regional Champion and the 3rd place national prize winner for last year's Energy Tech UP competition. Basically, my idea focused on using supercapacitors for electric vehicles like cars or electric aircrafts. And I represented a team from the University of Miami in Florida. I'm currently a senior in mechanical engineering. And for this competition, I actually used my own innovative idea and product that I had been creating in a research lab with a group of people. So, you know, although you can use the resources that they give you on the Energy Tech UP website, I decided to go in my own direction for an idea that I had. And basically it was because I was so well versed in the market and design of that technology already that it was kind of easy for me to complete the basic qualifications for the competition. So I would say the biggest thing is that the competition helped open up so many opportunities with networking, and also the prize money helped go towards gaining intellectual property and like securing the protection of the technology itself. The networking was great because after the competition, I was approached by multiple investors. I've had meetings with multiple investors, people who invest early on and down the line. And I got a lot of recognitions from that. And I also was able to secure multiple PhD positions at different universities, including my own university after the successful win. So if there's any advice I would give, I would say to try to attend as many of these networking events as possible, and really just like know your business plan and your projections and your market in and out, and how important your technology is on society rather than the actual details of the technology itself. But yeah, just good luck to everyone, and thank you for having me today.
Well, thank you both for joining today. Really appreciate you taking some time to come back and speak with this next iteration of the event. We look forward to seeing where you go in the years to come. So with that, I'll move next to what you'll need to do, so our new competitors, and how to win. So we saw throughout this activity that there's a wide range of technologies. So you can see the nuclear energy generator team that was from MIT last cycle. You can see the Natrion or the Electromain team up here on the top right that thought about harvesting water energy for tall buildings. And we saw that teams are able to build this capability, build that ability to think about engineering, about business, and understand the opportunity in these different areas. So we are open to all energy technologies and looking forward to what you submit as that part of that participation. So with that being said, how will this competition work? So right now, we're here to say you should submit a register entry. Really think that you should participate. So between now and January 26th, please go to HeroX and submit a register entry. This is where you'll indicate your 200-word summary of your project, the technology you think you might leverage, and some information about your institution. We'll take all of those register entries and we'll invite up to 180 teams to be able to pitch at one of 15 different regional events. So 12 teams at each of 15 events that will occur between February 14th and February 28th. This is virtual, there's no travel required or expected, and you're able to then pitch and present to industry judges. And so this is a light and low barrier way for you to test out your idea, be able to get some live feedback from judges, be able to see some other presentations from other competitors in your area, and learn about resources that might be available to you should you advance this technology or a different technology in the energy industry. As part of these regional events, we will identify a regional winner from every single region, and we'll also identify up to one bonus prize finalist for each of the technology bonus prize areas. Those technology bonus prize finalists will then be reviewed by the Department of Energy technical staff and will identify a bonus prize winner for each of 8 different technology bonus prizes. Those regional winners, as well as the National Lab IP Licensing Bonus Prize winner, so the team that is best suited to leveraging a technology they found on the lab partnering service, will be invited to refine their solutions over the month of March, and then will be invited to present as part of the Energy Thought Summit in Austin, Texas on April 3rd. So this will be those 16 winning teams, and will also provide access to that conference for our bonus prize winners. Throughout this area, we do expect to provide a number of different prizes. So there's $3,000 prizes provided to each of the regional winners, $25,000 in prizes to each of the bonus prize winners, and then $100,000 in total prizes available for 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place at that national pitch event. So if you're intrigued, read our rules. You can go to EnergyTech, go to herox.com/EnergyTechUp, go to resources and read our rules document. It's a pretty easy to read document, about 20 pages of content before some bonus prize appendices and additional information, but it really defines eligibility, technology areas of interest, prizes to win, how to enter, what to submit, and how winners are determined. I'll give you a preview of that today, though. So the really important takeaway that I'd like everyone to have is that if you want to be one of those 180 competitors invited to present to a regional convener's set of judges, you need to click solve this challenge at herox.com/EnergyTechUp and then submit a register entry. So once you log in, once you click solve this challenge and log into the HeroX platform, you'll see a button that says begin entry. Once you do so, you'll see a form that says create submission. And this is where we'll ask about the technology to be leveraged and your collegiate institution and some of your team makeup information. By submitting that, we're able to then invite you to one of those regional events. So you'll provide a 200-word summary of the technology to be leveraged and that business opportunity. And optionally, you can provide a slide deck. So our regional conveners will work to look at all of the submissions. So if we have 25 submissions for your region and they can only accept 12, they will use that 200-word summary and the optional slide deck against these criteria. So the evaluation statement is the team understands their technology of choice and has evaluated the relevant market, outlined a vision for the role that the business could play in the energy transition, and considered what would be necessary to achieve success. You'll note that it's not the preparedness of the students, it's not the strength of your CV, it's not the scale of the business. It's really, have you considered the technology? Do you have a vision for what it could fit in the market? And have you thought about what success would mean for that business? So what is the technology to be leveraged? Who will buy the product or service? Who will benefit? And what role will this business play? So that's how we'll determine those 180 teams that are invited to participate in our Explore phase. At that Explore phase, 12 teams will each be invited to present for 7 minutes and then have 3 minutes of Q&A with industry judges. This is meant to be an initial idea and opportunity, and it will be virtual. No travel is expected or required. And we will identify one regional winner at each event, and we will identify up to one technology bonus prize finalist at each event. The evaluation statement and suggested content of that presentation are outlined in the rules and summarized here. So you can see that you need to talk about the technology, your market assessment, the economic feasibility of bringing that technology to market, the potential impact, and the overall business plan. Again, as a business plan competition, this is not evaluating whether or not you as a competing team are the right people to bring this business to fruition. It really is evaluating the work that you do in this competition. In total, we've mentioned this already, but we are excited that we have over $350,000 in cash prizes available. First place at the national event will receive $50,000, second place $30,000, third place $20,000, and up to 8 technology bonus prize winners will each receive $25,000. And so to be a technology bonus prize winner, you do not have to be a regional winner and you do not have to be as part of the national event. So there's a different area of focus and different opportunity for success. So you can see these different areas and there's additional information in the rules, but for building technologies, they're looking for business plans focused around 120 volt heat pump water heaters. So if that's something you're interested in, it is a pretty specialized area. So there may not be a ton of competition. So think carefully about how you might present that idea. For geothermal technologies, they're really looking for ways to increase innovation and inclusiveness of the technology in the industry. We also have support from the Office of Electricity, providing 2 bonus prizes, one around grid enhancing technologies and the second around large power transformers. So if this is something of interest to you, consider whether or not you can target winning one of those technology bonus prizes. For fossil energy and carbon management, they're providing a bonus prize around carbon dioxide removal, and nuclear energy is looking for ideas around accelerated development and deployment of nuclear energy. We mentioned this already, but all technologies that are leveraging something available on the lab partnering service, available for license from a national lab, are eligible to win that national lab intellectual property licensing area. So by winning that prize, you also receive access to compete for 3rd, 2nd, and 1st overall. So that's an additional pathway in addition to being a regional winner where you can become one of the national competitors. The Solar Energy Office is providing a bonus prize around increasing performance, affordability, reliability, and value of solar technologies. And Water Power Technologies is looking for those solutions around the idea of powering the blue economy. So you can see in the rules more information about what they're looking for and the evaluation criteria for each one of those bonus prizes. In this competition, all energy technologies are welcome. So this is all areas. So whether it's fossil-based, whether it's transmission-based, generation-based, conservation-based, finances, or others, if it's related to energy, which to be honest is most things we do in our lives, it's welcome in this competition. If you do not have a technology in mind and your university does not have information around what you might want to try to develop, you can do exactly what we saw that Lina did and visit energytechup.labpartnering.org and explore the 100 or so technologies that we highlighted that the national labs believe are ripe for commercialization. So you can get some high-level product summaries, you can get some access to information about those technologies, and you may be able to present a business plan around one of these different areas. Additionally, you're welcome to leverage your institution's technology. So if you go to your institution's tech transfer office, if you go to your professors, if you go to your entrepreneurship or sustainability institutes, they may have technologies that they think have a business potential, but they need some advancing. So sometimes you may have a research professor who has developed a new technology, but they have not had the time to explore how it might fit in the marketplace or what it might take to commercialize that energy technology. That's a way you could add value to your institution by looking at some of these different areas. Additionally, you can always just look at emerging technologies of interest to you and your team. So we saw that successfully in the last cycle as well. On the lab partnering service, there's over 2,000 technologies available for license, and we've highlighted about 100 of those. You're welcome to choose any of the 2,000, but you may also be able to engage with the inventors of these technologies at the national labs. So if you find something really of interest to you, there's some buttons on the site that you can click to be connected with the national labs, and you might be able to receive some support. If you choose to participate in this competition, you'll receive access to these highlighted energy technologies. All 180 teams who are competing will get access to the Energy I-Core educational materials. We'll provide expert mentorship from DOE and lab staff. We'll provide links to example presentations from the last competition. And of course, as you heard from our prior competitors, you'll receive cash prizes and industry connections. We hope all of this help you to succeed and encourage you to build your experiences in the energy industry. So this is my final reminder that if you are on the fence, please do go to herox.com/energytechup and click solve this challenge and submit a register entry by January 26th. So be sure to click that solve this challenge button, click begin entry, and then complete your full submission. So with that, we're so thankful and so appreciative of 15 different regional conveners who will be hosting an event in late February where you're able to present to judges. So this is a way where you're able to get in front of many leading industry judges in your area, learn more about their organization, their ability to connect you with resources in your community, and that you're able to see other presentations by students at your university, at other universities, and be able to gain this participation. So we've defined our regions based on the location of the team captain's school. So it's not necessarily where you personally rest your head at night, but it's the location of the school of your team captain, and it's divided by these states. Once we see the full set of registration submissions on January 26th, we may rearrange some individual teams to make sure that we have equal balance and fair participation across all of these different areas, but we did our best to balance the potential based on population density, school resources, and other things like that. With that, I'd like to see if we're joined by any of our regional conveners who could very briefly introduce themselves and their organization in just a sentence or two. Do we have anyone on from Elemental Accelerator?
Hi, everyone. My name is Antoinette West. I am the Career Pathways Manager at Elemental Accelerator. We are so excited to be hosting this year on February 16th. We are a nonprofit climate tech startup accelerator, in addition to providing organizations support with equity and access, as well as our new policy lab. So we'll be around, excited to answer any questions anyone may have. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much. Do we have anyone on from Clean Tech San Diego?
Hi, Joe. Marty's here. I'm the executive director of the Southern California Energy Innovation Network, which is one of the 4 California Energy Commission innovation clusters across the state. So we're actually representing all 4 of those clusters across the whole state. And we're looking forward to identifying some new emerging breakthrough energy technologies across all the universities across California. I'll be in the breakout room and happy to answer any questions they might have.
Great, thanks so much. Anyone from Florida High Tech Corridor?
Hello, my name is Amanda. I'm with the Florida High Tech Corridor. I run our program STEM Connect, and I'm helping plan our regional event this year. And we are convening on February 28th, and I look forward to meeting people today.
Great, thanks so much. Evergreen Climate in Great Lakes.
Hi, Joe. Thank you so much for organizing this today. My name is Allie Gross, and I am a program manager with Evergreen Climate Innovations. We invest in really early stage climate tech startups all across the greater Midwest region. And we'll be having our Great Lakes event on February 23rd, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have in the breakout rooms today.
Awesome, thanks so much. Grid Catalyst.
Excuse me. Good afternoon, everybody. Nina Axelson, founder of Grid Catalyst. We're a clean energy and climate tech accelerator based in Minnesota, serving the Northern Plains region for the program. We really focus on late stage for the most part, but trying to build a stronger Midwest ecosystem for energy innovation and partnership. So really excited to be working with students through this program and talk to folks in the breakout room.
Awesome, thanks so much. How about Carnegie Mellon University in Mid-Atlantic?
Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel Tachik. I'm Executive Director here at Carnegie Mellon's Scott Institute for Energy Innovation. And innovation is in our name. And so we are very excited to host EnergyTech UP Regionals this year. We hosted finals last year and very excited to meet you. And I'll see you in the breakout room.
Awesome, thanks so much. Impact 307.
Hi, this is Logan Jenkins. Y Ranch is the Mountain West convener for Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Montana, and would love to talk to anyone about their innovation in the Mountain West.
Awesome, and thanks so much. And also apologies that I referenced Impact 307. Here it is, Y Ranch was on. So sorry about that out of date slide.
No problem.
Open Northeast.
Hi, everyone. Carly Jose here from CleanTech Open Northeast. I am the partnerships manager. We are the Northeast region of CleanTech Open, which is a national clean technology accelerator for early stage companies. Excited to chat with everyone more in the breakout room, and we'll be hosting our regional events on February 16th. So excited to see you all there.
Awesome, thank you so much. Syracuse University.
Hi, Joe. It's Tammy Rosanio, Associate Director of Partner Programs for Syracuse Center of Excellence in Environmental and Energy Systems at Syracuse University. We're really looking forward to hosting the New York Tri-State competition on February 17th in the afternoon, and we're looking forward to a strong competition with lots of great games.
Sounds great. University of Washington.
Hi, everyone. Lauren Brohan here from the University of Washington's Burke Center for Entrepreneurship. We'll be hosting our regional event on February 16th and are looking forward to engaging with teams from Idaho, Oregon, and Washington.
Great, thanks so much. University of Arkansas.
Hey, everyone. David Hinton with Technology Ventures at the University of Arkansas. We're hosting our regional event on February 24th. So looking forward to meeting you.
Great, thanks so much. I don't believe anyone from University of Arizona was able to join today, but I'll give a moment just in case I'm wrong. All right, well, we really appreciate University of Arizona, the Institution for Innovation, joining us as well for the Southwest region. Someone from the National Renewable Energy Lab will be available in the breakout room to answer any questions that you might have. How about North Carolina Clean Tech Corridor?
Hello, my name is Michaela Cardona. I'm the programs manager with the Research Triangle Clean Tech Cluster. We are serving as the South Atlantic regional convener, and our event will take place on February 22nd. We're excited to meet everyone, and we will be in the breakout rooms later today.
Awesome, thanks so much. And University of Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm Dave Melanson with the University of Kentucky Center for Applied Energy Research. Happy to host again this year. It's our second time having the opportunity to do that. Look forward to seeing you shortly in the breakout room, and our event will be on February 23rd.
Awesome, thanks so much. And last, we have Rice Alliance for Technology and Entrepreneurship from Texas.
Hi, I'm Catherine Santa Maria from the Rice Alliance for Technology and Entrepreneurship. We're at Rice University. We support and promote founders and entrepreneurs at the university in the city of Houston and beyond. And we're excited to host the Texas Regional on February 15th.
Awesome, thanks so much. Well, with that, we are going to open up some breakout rooms, and we encourage you to talk to others. Just learn more about your industry, your area, your association, the regional conveners, and you can ask your regional convener about if you're looking for other team members. So, what are their ideas? Is it other colleges, universities, or entrepreneurship centers in your area? Can you think about contacting your school's technology transfer office, your business school, your entrepreneurship program, sustainability program, energy institutes, or some research professors in the area of interest for you as a potential competitor? And if you do still want to potentially be connected with others who may be additional team members, you can reach out to the organizers of the program at ott.energytechup@nrel.gov, and we may be able to connect you with others from your school who have attended other webinars or have registered on our HeroX site. But with that being said, our next steps for everyone to keep in mind is to visit HeroX and explore, read the rules, and watch the 2022 final event presentations. Build your team. You can participate as part of a class, a club activity, a group of friends, of students in a research group, students supporting a faculty advisor, just passionate students participating extracurricularly. However you'd like, you're welcome to participate. A team is a minimum of 2 people, so it can just be you and a roommate. It can just be you and someone else, and you're welcome to participate. Explore those energy technologies, whether it's something at your institution or it's available from labpartnering.energytechup.org. You can explore those energy technologies, and then be sure to click solve this challenge and submit a register entry by January 26th with your 200-word summary. Ask any questions of us at ott.energytechup@nrel.gov. And with that, I think Jackie will open up the breakout rooms, and we're all able to then talk on a more personal level with our various regional conveners. So thank you everyone for joining today. If you do have questions of the organizers overall, we'll be available in this main room. Otherwise, once you think you have all of your questions answered, you can also drop the call after connecting with your regional convener. So thank you to everyone who was able to join, and we look forward to seeing your submission by January 26th. Okay, so someone asked, what should be covered in the 200-word summary? So at its highest level, it's a summary of the technology to be leveraged and the business opportunity. But if you look in the rules, you'll be able to see the evaluation criteria for how we will determine the 180 teams invited to compete at the Regional Explore events. And there's an evaluation statement that looks at that more specifically. But at a high level, the technology to be leveraged and the business opportunity. The next question I see in the chat is, how far along should the technology be developed? Does there need to be an MVP at this stage? There is no requirement for how far along the technology must be developed. We've seen teams compete successfully with a concept in a very early stage area. It could be a prototype. It could be ready for commercialization. It's really open to you. What you will need to present is the steps and the potential resources necessary to bring it to market. So just understanding what steps might be necessary will be important the more early stage technology you choose to present. The next question I see is, can the technology be a software-based solution? Absolutely. We welcome you to think about software-based solutions for the energy industry, and that would be something definitely available for this competition. I see a question of, are already established technologies with IP able to be used for the business plan? These would be technologies developed by professors not yet commercialized. Absolutely. Already established technologies that are seeking new ways to increase their impact in industry with a new business plan are welcome to participate. You'll see in the rules that there is a preference for technologies or business plans that have not previously received over $200,000 of investment capital or previously won more than $20,000 in prize competitions, like a business plan competition that would be similar to this, but it's not an eligibility criteria. So we would absolutely invite and encourage business plans for these established energy technologies. I see a question about, can there be multiple team members in a single breakout room? Yes, and I will also say, as I didn't address earlier, there can be multiple teams from a single institution. So we would welcome multiple teams from a single institution as well to participate in the competition. Can a non-student person be a member of the team? Yes, in short, we limited that only students, active students, can present to judges, and that a team must have at least 2 actively enrolled students pursuing a degree. They can be pursuing any level of degree, so whether undergraduate level, graduate, or a PhD, but they do need to be actively enrolled and in pursuit of a degree. Additional team members can exist, and they could choose to split that prize money if you choose to do so. But the team captain has to be a student, and the team has to have at least 2 students on it. Beyond that, you can have advisors and team members that are not students.
Hey, Joe, this is Ben with Washington State University, and I was just wondering where we should target our presentation. Like, should the presentation be targeted towards potential investors, or should the presentation be more of a like a general information session describing the impact of the product that we have ideas for?
Yeah, so I would definitely encourage you to think about the criteria that the judges are tasked to evaluate you. So rather than an investor competition where they're trying to only show sort of what the maybe return on investment for that investment might be, the criteria for this competition are around the technology, the potential impact on the market, the definition of success, and the overall quality of the plan itself. And so it's not always bigger is better. It's not always more profitable is better, but it is around those criteria. So I would focus it on not the specifics of the technology. So in some ways, in many ways, the teams will say like, this is our technology and it's great. And these are the reasons, but you don't have to prove everything about that technology is in a technical presentation, but it should be tied into the business opportunity for that commercialization of that technology as a whole. So a little bit in between that investor presentation and the technical presentation. So you can also see some links on HeroX to the past presentations as well that we're winning that might be helpful to see that context.
Great, yeah, thank you.
I think we should go through.
Well, I know we have just a couple minutes left, and so if anyone has any final presentations, I welcome you to either put them in the chat or send us a message at ott.energytechup@nrel.gov, and then just make sure you keep in mind that January 26th, the deadline. Any questions that you have, we're happy to jump on an individual call with you and your team. We're happy to send out some additional written information. Just let us know, and we're happy to connect. But thank you, everyone, for your participation.
Hey, Joe, we had a question in our room. Run it past you now.
Go for it. Yeah.
So one of the students who's interested in competing wondered whether or not they'll receive feedback if they're not chosen as one of the final 12 teams in the regional competition. Do you guys have a policy on that?
So we do our best to provide feedback when we have it available. So in terms of the teams that are not chosen for that Explore event, some written feedback would be possible. For those that are participating in a regional event, the feedback is generally limited to the 3 minutes of back and forth question and answer session during that regional event with the industry judges, because you don't have a ton of follow-up time with them afterwards. And then for the teams at the national event, we do have more written feedback from all of our judges. So depending on which stage it is, there'll be a different type of feedback provided, but we do want this to be educational. We'll try to communicate as best as we can how that determination was made.
Terrific, thank you.
All right, well, hello everyone. I hope you had a few minutes to talk with your regional convener. This really is about building community. It's about building that energy ecosystem. And so whether today, through your participation, through watching other students present to judges, through getting feedback from industry, or for networking as you research the technology to be leveraged, we do hope that you can build your capabilities in the energy industry and in your region itself. If you have any questions about participating in the program or submitting your regional event, please do email us at ott.energytechup@nrel.gov. And we also had a few questions that people asked about submitting an abstract with presentation. So the rules require a 200-word summary of your technology to be leveraged and your business opportunity, but it also provides the opportunity for you to submit an additional slide deck explaining more around how you meet the criteria for being chosen as one of our 180 teams in that Explore event. So please do look at those rules. You can submit that key information and it'll help us to better understand your preparedness for the program, but it is not a necessary step, but it is something you might consider. So last year we had just about 180 teams register, and this year, now in our second year, we are expecting more than that. So there may be some down select necessary depending on the region for the regional Explore event. So the more information you can provide, the better you will be for that selection process. With that, any questions that you have, please do email us, and we're here to hop on a call. We're here to answer your questions, and we look forward to your submission by January 26th. Thank you, everyone. We hope you're excited about the participation.